this up. But that's what I thought I did the 5 times I met with John with my 11-page paper.
And 2 months of this. 2 months of it.
I said, no wait, I sat and I thought, I tried to clear my mind and get away from my emotions about the situation. And give him this, which is what he wanted. And when he got it, he said, this is good. This is what I can take to the board. What am I supposed to take from that?
I understand.
What I'm saying is, I got to restate everything to you guys. I gave Mr. Whitecamp a copy. I gave him a copy of what Mr. Mullen gave to me to write. I mean, my opinion is, if you read that, you'll understand where I'm coming from.
Not totally.
They don't want to understand.
Well, not totally, but
I mean, that's why I'm offering to do this, Mike, because me personally, it's just something I feel like is I respect you to do. That's one thing I'm.
well, I appreciate that, but I think also when you sit down and we sit down and talk, and I talked to Tim about this already, you have to be objective.
Right.
I mean, you have to weigh every situation. And like I said,
we have a paper here that says not to bring you back as a coach.
sure.
And I'm sitting here getting bits and pieces from you, and I can't go into detail and everything, obviously, but I'm offering you a chance to sit with us and talk.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that's what I want to do with you, to do that.
Okay.
Because I don't want to jump to that conclusion. I mean, that's not something I sit here and relish and want to do. It's not anything that, so I'm offering.
So what you're saying is, you can table this, there will be no decision made tonight.
Correct.
I am still the head coach until you decide otherwise, and we'll sit down and discuss exactly what he's got written.
Well, we have to make a motion to vote to do that.
But what I'm saying is that's where you're going.
That's what I would like to do. I have a motion.
The only thing is, and I want to clear this, is technically your job is in limbo until this is over. You know what I'm saying?
So technically I shouldn't do anything with my team until I know I'm the head coach, is what you're saying.
I don't know.
Because if I do all those things with my team, no, just wait, if I do these things with my team, which I've done since the sectional's been over, and trying to create an attitude and an atmosphere where they're going to be winners and work hard. That's what I want to do. Okay? But if I'm in limbo, which I told John I don't want to be in limbo anymore tonight, make a decision. If I'm in limbo and I don't do it, you're going to see it as I don't care. I will do it. And I would like to meet as soon as possible.
I totally agree. You are the coach until it's said different.
Okay, so I'm not in limbo.
You're until you're said different.
I'm not in limbo, correct?
From the curriculum question, this is for the administrators primarily. With recent school closings and not replacing teachers, teachers lobbying at union meetings at the State House, not having a raise in 4 years, my question would be, from a business perspective, if you don't renew Coach Wagoner, is funding really not an issue? I mean, have we been crying wolf a little bit? That's my question. I mean, to the administrations, we have a coach that's won 69% of his games for the past 3 years and 77% of the last 2 years. So if, barring some smoking gun of some kind of absurd personal issue, my question would be, how financially do you justify this to your teachers? You got to get a raise for 4 years to bring in a new position. They've had stipends. Those aren't raises. Those are bonuses. They're 1 year. They do not carry over from year to year. So that's my question.
So you're saying that as a school system, we should try to, if we think it is an improvement, we should not try to improve and spend money?
I'm saying the question is a cost-benefit analysis. You have a coach who has done, looks like fairly adequate to all the people here. My question would become, of course we can always do better, but is it worth bringing another position in when you won't replace teachers that have retired, and you will not, and you haven't given a raise to a teacher in 4 years, only a bonus? How do you justify that to your teachers or to the community?
A good answer would be, hopefully you won't have to, after we meet.
And I have one other question, instead of get a response.
I think I gave you a response. You're basing it on that information. You're saying that if we think we can improve, we aren't going to spend the money to improve. I don't agree with that.
I said it's cost benefit.
Right. Absolutely.
Larry,
once again, I will go back to the fact, and I've been to different places. I've argued for Mike, I've argued against him just for the sake of argument. I mean, I've been both ways on it. I'm hearing both sides, okay? But listen, there is a cost benefit. You're saying, okay.
So you're open to other cost benefit proposals to spend money?
Huh?
So you'll be open to other cost benefit proposals to spend
Absolutely.
money?
Larry looks at that all the time.
What's that?
You and I talked about this earlier. What if Mike had 3 and 18 this year, or a few years ago? Is the Loogootee program, basketball program worth the money?
Well, he opened up by saying.
I know.
He opened up by saying his record, he opened up by saying because everything seems.
I agree, I'm just hypothetically saying.
You know,
yeah, that's
sometimes
okay.
we spend, sometimes, and you know this as an engineer, that you spend the majority of your budget trying to fix 5% of the problem when 90% of the business case is adequate. And you know that as an engineer, and you see it all the time occurring. And is that what's going on here? That's my question.
Yeah, and Larry, when the shoe's on the foot, it's easy to sit back there and do that.
It may be.
When we went through this with Coach Brett, you're writing editorials and on his butt and everything else. I'm trying to be as consistent with Mike as I was with Coach.
And he had 6 years, and he had a record to justify
I'm trying to be as
it.
consistent with Mike Wagoner as I was with Coach Brett about the program and everything. And that's something, you know, when it's on the other foot, don't sit there and toss grenades at us.
Well, I'm not tossing grenades, I'm asking a question. And I don't see a comparison between the 2 records and where the program was ending up and how it's been heading. I see it differently than how you're seeing it.
But what I'm saying, you do. And
you,
Larry, what you don't understand, we got people that, I could clear this room out and say, okay, all the people that are against WAG come in here and say the same thing and do the same thing. And you're going to get the same thing. And that's what you don't.
I've also heard.
I have a hard time believing that.
I've also, one more question, and I'll be right. I've also heard on the evaluation that there seems to be a lot of credence that you guys have put on these younger coaches. I would like to know what their combined experiences are, and really how knowledgeable are they really about how basketball should be coached. I mean, these are good 6th, 7th, 8th grade coaches. I mean, there's one coach in our system been around a long time.
If I can comment, Larry, I met with Mike last week, and I was kind of disappointed in some of the things that he had said that John had mentioned to him. You know, because I never had an opportunity to speak with John, or he never did sit me down and discuss. You know, as one of the grade school coaches, he had met with several of the others, I believe, and they all had comments. But I was kind of disappointed that he didn't take the time to meet with me. And I may have missed it in the first part of the meeting at the play, but you know, is this a one-man recommendation? You know, coming from John, or how was this? And this may have already been answered.
To
John and.
And why they're not here?
And where's Mr. Powell as the AD?
He was at the baseball game earlier, but he left.
To me, I would think this would be a little bit more important than
Right.
the baseball game.
To finish my question, and thanks, Jeff, but I just want to finish up here, is that I understand the value of getting input from your coaching staff, but again, these are, I don't want to use the word amateur, but, you know, they're great players and great people, but they're not, you know, how much value should you place on that?
They
And it
haven't
seems
spent
to be the
half of their
prevalent thing I
life
keep hearing.
trying to help build a basketball program.
So, I guess that was an editorial thing, not an actual question, but an observation. Thank you.
Again, I'm trying to come, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just saying.
don't be like that, would
If Mike, I mean, because obviously me attending, I probably didn't have a good job, but, you know, I'm here to support him. And with him,
I mean, you already did a good job.
him saying that, you know, what John has went back and told you guys, according to what was on his evaluation, there's no consistency there, like the communication, the lack of, and I'm not gonna get into personal, but I've seen it too personally. The lack of communication, I mean, correct, because that, you know, he put good things on your evaluation, but then came to you, or whomever.
And we're going to give Mike a chance. I mean, that's one thing.
Right, but then that kind of worries me too, that.
I don't know what else would be better to do.
No, I think that's a great idea. I understand if you can't, you know, decide, make a decision tonight, I understand that. All I'm saying is, it would be much easier to have that meeting and then say, okay, we're still gonna decide because you don't have all these angry community, you know, members here. And
Well,
that's,
trust
I
me,
mean,
if we,
I know,
I've had
I
people angry at me
understand.
before.
I know, I
And like I
understand.
said, I'm gonna walk out here we're gonna walk out here one way or another. I'm gonna walk in town and I'm gonna be cussed one way or
Correct,
another.
yes.
Trust me. I
Either
guarantee
way.
it. I'm gonna get a phone call after I get home tonight and they're gonna call me the biggest SOB and stupid idiot.
And I'd like for you to give someone some credit. Not all of us here are angry and irrational.
I understand, and everybody's been good. I mean, I'm not
saying,
complaining.
most of the people here, I would say, are rational and passionate.
Right.
I mean, I will, no matter what decision you guys make, I don't have any personal against any of you guys.
Right.
And I hope, I don't
But
have
people do, I'm telling you.
I know that, I know that.
And there are people passionate the other way.
But
and that's
there's a
what
lot of people that don't too.
Right, and there is, but there are people passionate both ways. When we called this meeting, I could have guaranteed you that it was going to be people supporting Mike, because it is much easier to come in and support someone than it is to come in and not support someone. And you know what, if I'm not sitting here, I'm probably out there supporting Mike, to be honest with you. I mean, when he didn't get it, the first time when Steve got it, I was supporting Mike. So that's just the way it is. I understand how that works. But you have to understand, when you sit on this side of the table, you have to take in information. You have to put faith in your administrators to do their job, and you have to make decisions. And I understand that people are going to be upset either way. And the other thing that plays into it, there's three of us that have boys that play, okay? Yeah. That plays into it. The decision is not going to be based on, my son wants Mike Wagoner to be head basketball coach. I'm telling you that. He would love to come back and play for Mike Wagoner. My decision is going to be based on the information I have, and some of it will be with him, and that's included. But it's not easy to sit up here and do that. And I'm not trying to make excuses. We all ran for office. We knew that there would be times like this and things would happen. But you all have to understand too, there are other people out there making calls, doing the same thing, saying stuff. And Mike, you know, some of your coaches say they don't, but they say, I mean, people talk out both sides of their mouth. That's just the way it is. Rumors in Loogootee get started, get going. That's just the way it is.
Would you guys accept the public's decision if the public came together and decided one way or the other?
You can't do that, Joe.
Why can't you?
You cannot do that, because we were elected to represent people. And
Maybe
you
you
can't.
get that.
Then we will start
And not
to.
be representing the
This
people.
is you're representing John Mullen.
We are the
This
people.
is mine.
Maybe
I
you get that
understand that.
information.
We
are
were
the
elected,
people.
and we did. You did that. When we went to the polls, when we
We
went
are
to the
your
polls.
people.
Right. When we went to the polls, you elected us to make decisions. That's what we're here to do. We make decisions. If you don't like it, every 4 years, there's a new election. And you can both put people in, you can run, you can do what you want. I understand.
Why don't you open up a 2-day phone bank and let people call in?
Because, Joe, it's not scientific. You cannot do that. I'm sorry. That's not the way it works.
But you can
It's
take,
not, no,
you can
no.
do this on one,
Period.
can I talk to her?
Yes,
Okay, because I've known you for a long time.
I know.
This is coming on one recommendation. We know this.
No, it's not.
Technically too, but
How does last year's evaluation completely 180 from this year? I mean, you've got a both, right? Am I correct in saying that? You have both evaluations from last year and this year. Can you explain a complete 180 in that evaluation?
I don't think the evaluation last year was a total evaluation that he sat down and did. I mean, I don't think he.
Who did?
So why is this year's discredited as much as last
No,
year?
who didn't
Last
have
year's wasn't a whole
Well, it wasn't
evaluation.
signed by Mullen for
well, then he
one.
didn't do his job.
It's because Scott Reed did the entire evaluation. Scott and I sat down, Mullen sat right there next to us, sorry, Mr. Mullen, and went through the evaluation. Okay. Now, his question is, how can you go from
And
that
that's taken into consideration, I understand.
with the season we had,
I understand.
with the
I mean, let's look at the other teams around. Let me talk, Eric, okay? I'll let you talk online. Let's look at Shoals, Valley, teams like that are 4-18, 4-17. Do you think they would get rid of their coach at 17-5? I mean, honestly, we would be the laughing stock
We already are.
of the school system.
We have been for a while.
I mean, what excuse do you come, well, the evaluation didn't come back good. Hey, we were 17-5, 16-4 last year, whatever, but we had a crappy evaluation, so we let it go.
And his younger coaches didn't like him. So
Right.
that's what they're basing it
And
on.
going back to what Larry said, how much experience does your younger coaches really have? Lee Kavanaugh did not tell you that. This man, I know Lee Kavanaugh my whole life, Eric, you played for him too. 30-some years he's dedicated to this school system. Right, more than that. He did not complain to Mr. Wagner. about Mr. Wagner. Mike was born and raised in Loogootee. We're taking advice, honestly, from somebody that's been a member of our community for 6 years.
And you
That's
and I
kind
are
of
on
the
the
way
same
they're setting
page.
standards though.
I
They're
know
going
that.
outside of the community here.
You and I are on the same page when it comes to that, and I don't agree with some of the things Charlotte has done. I
he's
agree
not.
with
We're
some
not
of the
talking
things that he has done here as far as discipline but my point is, we're letting one guy who didn't grow up here, and we talk about Loogootee basketball, the tradition of Loogootee basketball. He doesn't know that, and we're letting him and Mr. Powell, okay, we want to say Mr. Powell too? Not from here.
If we're 5 and
And
16,
we're
this
letting
is
him-
not a conversation.
I understand that, but guys, what? And
I
I'm not gonna rehash
understand
it.
that.
We're gonna talk to Mike, okay? Just let.
The only thing I'm asking is respectfully, Eric, okay? Let your community vote.
Joey, that's not gonna happen. I'm sorry.
Then don't play the power trip, Eric,
Dude, that's
and
why
vote it out.
I've sat up here and told you how many different ways can I tell you
The
that.
people who came to this meeting actually cared enough to come.
No, the people that came to this meeting to support, the
That's not
ones who
fair.
didn't aren't gonna stand up
That's
and
not
say.
fair.
That's not true.
The ones who didn't aren't gonna come because it's already in the paper that Mike's not coming back. Why would they waste their time to come here to support an action that's already been?
Right.
That is true. They won. The people that are against it, they won. Why come?